After a brief break from a wild weather start to 2022, snow is back in the forecast, and this time it could pile up. Meteorologist Evan Hatter continues our severe weather alert day coverage. Evan.
That's right, Steve. The entire area now in a winter storm warning running through tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night, with the potential for several inches of snow. Not just that, but also potentially freezing cold temperatures. I mean bitterly cold, lows in the teens. We'll get to the winter weather here in just a moment. Outside right now, you're thinking winter weather. It's in the 50s. That's right. Actually, a pretty nice sunset shaping up as we head out to Buffalo Mountain this afternoon. Sitting at 52 here in Perry County. The sun setting, the Mountain Parkway at Slade, but still plenty of dry time out there. We're in the 50s right now, but you don't have to look far. Look up to the upper left-hand portion of your TV set. Those blue colors, that's cold air beginning to move in as a frontal boundary pushes through the area. You see the clouds moving out, but notice, and I'm going to circle it on the map here just so you don't miss it, some snow showers getting going across portions of central Indiana. It's that area of cold air that's going to push in and really prime the pump for some much colder air moving in tonight, which sets the stage for snowfall tomorrow. So even though clouds increase tonight, we're in the upper 20s for overnight lows. I'll have the very latest on when we can finally go back above freezing, and it may not be for several days. Coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, buckle up and get ready, Evan. Thank you very much. Well, Kentucky lawmakers have advanced several bills to draw up new district lines for House and Senate seats, plus the 6 congressional seats and the state Supreme Court. All of that, along with a bill to extend the filing deadline for candidates who want to run in this year's elections. All that was voted on in 2 committees today. WYMT's Phil Pendleton covered it all and has more from Frankfort.
Kentucky's population changed in 2020, the result of the census, and as a result, the people that represent various districts, the numbers of people in those districts has changed as well. And today, several bills detailing those changes easily passed 2 committees in the Kentucky General Assembly. The House along party lines passed House Bill 2. Representative Jerry Miller says the new lines reflect population shifts, and in this case, eastern and western Kentucky seeing decreases, while there was growth in Lexington, Louisville, and northern Kentucky. Several incumbents in both parties will be running against each other. In the Senate committee, the new Senate district map also easily passed by an 8-2 vote. Senate President Robert Stiver says because of their population, 5 counties, including Fayette and Jefferson, had to be split.
Split as few of counties as possible, and does not put any sitting member in a district with another member.
Democratic Senator Morgan McGarvey and a Republican Senator Adrian Southworth voted against the new state Senate map.
I would urge that this process be looked at more carefully, that we all engage more. We do this heavy lifting. It's only every 10 years, so it's hard to be an expert, but do everything we can. Right now, we need to slow it down. Right now, I'm a no vote.
The House committee also passed a bill that will change the filing deadline for those seeking political office this year. It is now this Friday at 4 o'clock, but if this bill becomes law, it'll change until January the 25th. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The full House and Senate are expected to have the 3rd and final readings and votes on the respective bills tomorrow, and then the other chamber could vote on them Saturday. Classes at Betsy Lane Elementary were canceled today to celebrate the life of a longtime Bobcat. 64-year-old Christine Hamilton was a teacher's aide at Betsy Lane Elementary for 30 years. Hamilton died on December 31st after a month-long battle with a non-COVID related illness and left a host of family, friends, co-workers, and students behind. But her legacy will live on in the hearts of her Bobcat family forever.
This school was her life. This school was her. She loved her family fiercely. She also loved us fiercely. So we will make her proud by doing what she would want us to do, which is help these kids and keep her name in our hearts forever.
Bentley said many friends and family are still shocked by Hamilton's sudden death, but are working through it together. We will have more from Betsy Lane Elementary on Miss Hamilton's legacy later tonight. Talks have stalled in Congress as lawmakers discuss whether businesses need additional COVID-19 relief. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators is looking at another possible economic stimulus package focused on businesses impacted by the pandemic, including restaurants, gyms, and performance venues. Talks in the Senate are currently shelved, and a House aide says none of its lawmakers are in serious discussions on the matter. A senior White House official also said they are not looking at another stimulus, but something small could be done for restaurants. All 9 Supreme Court justices are fully vaccinated and boosted. The announcement comes as the U.S. deals with an increase in COVID cases, mostly due to the Omicron variant. In recent weeks, health officials have been urging vaccinated people to get a booster shot. The High Court will hear arguments Friday in cases challenging the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine and testing requirements for large employers and certain healthcare workers. The CDC has no plans to change the definition of fully vaccinated against COVID-19, but federal health officials are imploring people to get their shots and boosters. Average daily cases are up 98% over the previous week, and hospitalizations are up 63%. This comes amid some muddled messaging on isolation guidelines, a shortage of home testing kits, and skyrocketing case counts. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
Health officials say despite signs of reduced severity, Omicron's high transmissibility means hospitals could still be stressed.
A certain proportion of a large volume of cases, no matter what, are going to be severe.
The CDC is still emphasizing vaccination, boosters, mask wearing, and other precautions, but its revised isolation guidance is confusing to some. Infected persons do not need a negative test to end their isolation, but they can test if they want to.
That's really about availability of these rapid antigen tests. I think that kind of complicated algorithm might work in the ICU at a hospital, but it doesn't really work well as public health guidance.
Another issue with those at-home tests, unreported cases.
Obviously, if I would have tested at the doctor's office or at the hospital, the health department would have been notified.
The Biden administration has purchased 500 million free at-home test kits to be delivered to Americans, but the website to request those kits won't be up and running until later this month.
We'll continue to do more and more to increase access to testing given the extreme demand.
Chicago's public school teachers voted to switch to remote learning, prompting officials to cancel classes.
We don't feel safe. We don't feel that the students are safe.
While in Massachusetts, some classrooms may see these four-legged friends sniffing out COVID.
Whether it's the Omicron, whether it's the Delta, our dogs will hit on it.
A CDC advisory panel is meeting Wednesday to consider Pfizer's booster shot for children ages 12 to 15. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Updated vaccine trial data on children under 5 is expected in the next 6 months. David Lee Roth is saying farewell to his farewell residency in Las Vegas. Various media outlets are reporting the rocker has canceled all the remaining Mandalay Bay House of Blues shows due to concerns over COVID. This comes after the veteran Van Halen frontman called off his New Year's Eve and New Year's Day performances at the House of Blues. Those shows were also canceled because of COVID. The 67-year-old singer was set to play 7 more January shows at the same venue for his farewell. The Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs are set to face off Monday for the College Football National Championship. Indianapolis is preparing for the big game at Lucas Oil Stadium. About 100,000 people are expected to be in the city for events throughout the weekend. And despite a rise in COVID cases, there are no restrictions. Masks are not required for any indoor events. Well, many people consider their fur babies their kids, and for some, those are the only children they want to have. But Pope Francis thinks that's a mistake. The Pope labeled couples who choose to have pets instead of children selfish. He also called the decision a detriment to civilization and claims it leads to a loss of humanity. The pontiff advised couples who cannot biologically have children to consider adoption. This is not the first time he has criticized couples who prioritize pets. Coming up on First at 4, while tattoo ink remains mostly unregulated here in the U.S., some countries are issuing bans over what they call dangerous chemicals.
And winter weather alerts are in place for our next system moving in as soon as tomorrow. I'll have the very latest on the way.